This week's coffee is going to be Colombian Gaitania. Hello everybody and welcome to episode 166 on Monday the 16th of January 2012. I'm your host Stephen Layton, and as I said, this week's coffee is going to be all about Colombia Gaitania, which is a small lot that we've had for a couple of weeks now, maybe just before Christmas, but wanted to introduce it to you here. So this coffee comes from 22 smallholder farmers from the Gaitania district, which is in Colombia, obviously, in the Tolima province, and it lies in the far south, map coming up on the screen, because you know how much I love my maps, and the far south of Tolima, which is in the foothills of Colombia's highest volcano, which is called, come on, get the information out your head, Nevado del Huila. Gaitania is kind of quite well-known province. It has a really kind of great history of producing great coffee. A mixture of, amazing soil, great temperature, great climate, and a whole heap of water. Added to that, the volcanic kind of soils around there just make it perfect for growing stunning coffee. Most of the producers in the area are very, very small. The average kind of plot land size is around about 4 hectares in size, and we have got the names of all the producers of this one. I'm going to whiz through the screen as I'm talking. Yeah, they all lie at an average altitude of around about 1,750 metres above sea level-ish. Generally, each farm employs just a handful of people, maybe 3 or 4 people. And then during picking and harvest time, maybe an extra 4 or 5 people will come in and help with the harvest. So they're incredibly small landowners, incredibly small producers, but working together to produce quality. So all of the coffee is picked by hand, which is obviously the majority of way that coffee is picked. But when you're using hand and you have such smaller lots, it's much easier to pick on colour. It's immediately depulped. Lots of the farms in Colombia will have hand depulpers where they'll depulp it straight away on the farm. Sometimes it will be washed. Some of this will have been what we kind of scrubbed through the pulper. So kind of like Machacamarca that we've talked about in the past, where it's kind of semi-washed before being put on raised beds and left to dry in the sun. So let's go through some figures and numbers. So the coffee is called Gaitania. It's from the Tolima district. This lot is made by a group of 22 farmers. The varietals are Colombia, Castillo, and Catura. It's fully washed, but with a little bit of kind of pulping washed in there as well. Sun-dried on raised beds, altitude of around about 1,750 metres. And yeah, that's it. It's in the south area of Tolima in the Gaitania district, and I think that's pretty much everything. So let's get snozzer in the bowl before we do anything, because I kind of miss doing the snozzer sometimes when I've got the drinks, because I want to drink the espresso while it's hot. So snozzer in the bowl. And the first thing that hits you with this coffee is that it is incredibly floral, like dominantly floral. In fact, if you don't normally do this and the snozzer, and a lot of the reason why I had it here, because I want to make sure that I gave this the time it deserved. Get your nose in the bowl and have a smell, and you'll you will smell the floral attributes just come running through this coffee. It is amazing. Very, very, very kind of aromatic. All of those florals coming through. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to whap you on pause. I've got somebody making me coffee today. You might hear the grinder in the background, but I'm going to go and grab the coffees and I'll be back with you in just a moment. Right, so I'm back. I'm going to dive straight into the espresso. And the first thing I notice on the espresso is the mouthfeel. It is incredibly buttery, like super, super buttery. Excuse the noises in the background. I can't shut everything up in this room while we were here working and roasting. So yeah, very buttery. Really, really smooth, but got this real kind of wicked florals going on in there that is amazing. And it is a truly special espresso. Don't know if you can see that. I'm going to let somebody else get it. I'm not going to get the door. I'm not going to get the door. So, somebody else did the milk for me today. I don't know if you can see it, but it was very beautifully done and beautiful art. In milk, this just becomes a sweet fest. So you've got brown sugar, you've got like a cocoa powder, kind of baker's chocolate kind of sweetness going on in there. It is delicious. It is just, I think it really works well here. But now it's time for the Wheel of Death. And the Wheel of Death this week is going to be, I don't know which way it comes in here, I'm going to have to get this sorted, is the Cantan. I know we've had the Cantan before. The reason I'm doing it again today is I'm on my travels again. It's always a good chance for me to talk about my travels. I'm off to El Salvador and Nicaragua tomorrow. I'm recording this way before. So when you're watching this, I'm away. And yeah, the Cantan is just perfect for travelling with. Hand grinder, bag of Cantans, I'm a happy, happy man. So I'm going to be drinking lots of Cantans next week and it seemed like a good idea. But I'm just going to shout for my Cantan to be brought through. Woo, woo, run, run Forrest, run. Da, 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 da. Here he comes. I'm buckling. Thank you, mate. Coffee today brought to me courtesy of Dale. Thank you very much, Dale. So, Cantan made. And this is where my favourite descriptor comes. This is where this coffee is so unique. It's mouthfeel. I said in the espresso, big mouthfeel. In here, it almost goes oily. Like, not in a nasty way, but just in a thick, sticky, kind of gloopy, sticking to your mouth kind of way. And the thing it reminded me of the most, because of the floral, because of the sweet, because of the everything else in there, it just reminded me of a sunflower. It's like chewing on a sunflower. You've got that oil. You know if you bite a sunflower seed and you get the mouth oil, you get like that, kind of like a moisture kind of taste to it. It's that. It really is. In this, I think it excels. It's a great brew. And Cantans are a great way to brew. If you haven't tried Cantans, you really, really should. They are superb. Right, short and sweet this week, as I am just trying to get my desk cleared for the trip tomorrow. A very, very early flight in the morning. Bear with me if this is. I'm sorry if this is a bit late, and I'm sorry if next week's is a bit late. But I'm going to be travelling most of Saturday and Sunday, so it could be that this is a little bit behind, but it will be up. Thank you very much for joining me as always. And do remember, life is too short for bad coffee. And I hope Andy's been behaving himself in the background and hasn't been running around like a divvy.